There's this one episode where Anna has to go to the dentist and she's being a huge baby about it.
I'm getting closer. I don't want to go. I'm scared.
Which, like, same. I'm terrified of everything. No shade. But in the same episode, they also go to an amusement park because Anna loves rides. Kim says that she's terrified of rides because she got sick as a kid on one and, you know, ever since she's been scared. But Anna claims the same thing happened to her and then she was scared, but she went again and then she had a great time. And Anna's being unbelievably cruel about it from the second that they get there.
Just stop.
Is it that bad?
Yes. Just leave her alone. Let her be a fucking bitch.
I'm not being a bitch. I can't believe that you're making it.
Wimp, whatever.
Now, I do assume that they put these two things in one episode to kind of show her hypocrisy. I mean, that would make sense, yeah. So, Anna does get Kim on, you know, a more tame roller coaster in the beginning. And, she doesn't enjoy it. It doesn't get better. She actually doesn't have a great time. And even though Kim's still terrified, Anna uses what Kim calls her persuasive powers to get her to go on the biggest roller coaster at the park.
She used her powers of persuasion to convince me to go on Goliath, which is probably the most nasty one of all.
Kim cried during the ride, and even after it's over, she doesn't look well. She looks so anxious.
I ached all over just from being tense, and I was just thankful to be off the ride and thinking I'll never go on it again.
And like Anna acknowledges in like the picture that they take of you on the roller coaster that she doesn't look that good. So like after the ride, Kim feels sick and Anna doesn't care. But then Kim brings up Daniel being sick and Kim cares. And I understand, you know, caring about your child more than your friends, but like, you know, absolutely no consideration for your friend. And even now, even after Kim doesn't feel good and she's not having a good time, Anna gets her to go on this ride called the Dive Devil. And like, Kim really begs not to go on.
No way. I can't do it.
It's
Please,
fun.
please,
No,
please. I'm
it's
begging
so
you.
Fun.
I'll never ask you for anything again.
It's
Please
so
don't make me do it.
Also, I just kind of find it interesting, this one clip from the show where like the Dive Devil actually releases and Anna's like adjusting herself. So like she's not really like anticipating it, but like the second it drops, she just throws her arm out. Like you can really tell like the type of adrenaline junkie she is.
Yeah.
But at least at the end of this whole amusement park trip, Kim says that she's happy that she went on the rides with Anna for the memories. Kim and Howard really seem to try to compete for Anna's attention.
Here's your present from me, Mom.
Aww.
Big sleep shirt. Leopard print with some slippers.
Thank you, Mom. Aww.
Hey. I get an eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and that's it, and she gets a kiss?
Like, people really seem to simp for Anna. 2 of her friends have her tattooed on them. Kim.
Tattoo on my arm because she's a great person and she's done so much for me that I just wanted to pay respect to her and have something that's going to look good down the line.
And Frankie, the designer / friend.
It became more of a, not an Anna Nicole Smith thing, but a friend type of thing.
What are you doing today, Frank?
This, fighting with Bobby Trendy again.
I know that kind of makes sense now because she's a dead icon, but this is before she was dead. And these aren't just fans, they're friends. So considering all of this, I think that it is possible that Anna's friends could have helped cover up her drug problem. It's outright denied in the show, but now we know Anna died of an overdose. And even after Anna died of an overdose, Kim and Howard and all of her friends were still denying any drug problems. And in my opinion, she seems so messed up in so many scenes of the show. But again, that's opinion. I mean, it's not fact. She even seems messed up the very first episode when she's house hunting.
So this is from her work.
But not yet.
All right.
You gotta help me get it, Razor. I have to have this house.
But then there's these commentary scenes where she seems, you know, so much more clear-headed.
And I'm really tired and really exhausted, but I'm going to this great guest party, the 20th anniversary, so.
And then if you notice in that last clip, she gets so anxious when she's talking about going to that party. And I think that's actually pretty interesting. There's also this one scene on her way to the dentist.
I better get him to give me some badass shit.
I know.
You know, if I get in, ain't gonna cut it.
And then there's this other scene where they're in the car talking.
Yeah. I was dreaming that someone gave me some drugs and they didn't give me enough.
Like, who is that someone? What kind of drugs? What is that laugh? Anna's in Vegas for 2 episodes. And like, it's Vegas. People are gonna be fucked up. It's assumed. And like, at no point do they really try to hide that Anna's intoxicated. It's stated that she's intoxicated.
When I got back from dinner to the Rio, I don't remember that much. I think that Kimmy put me to bed.
But like, and this might be a really weird opinion, maybe I'm completely wrong, but I really feel like the show still cut out a lot of the actual alcohol consumption. Now you do see alcohol being consumed, but every time you see it, it's champagne, which I think is interesting. I don't think that they were just ingesting champagne throughout the whole night. I could be entirely wrong. There's also this scene at the hotel with someone who I believe works there, and Anna's just being dramatic.
Would you need a wheelchair?
She's like, I don't want to know where to stuff any of it.
And like, yeah, she's being really dramatic, but I think it's interesting how seriously he takes it. Like, he asks her if she needs a wheelchair. Like, has she needed a wheelchair in the hotel before? Like, everybody in the show seems to anticipate her being fucked up and kind of to handle her, if that makes sense. But there actually is someone who tries to call Anna out on her drug problems. She goes on this radio show, and honestly, I'm not even sure. This could be the Howard Stern show. I have no idea. But it's just stated that she goes on this talk show.
One of the questions that people don't seem to be asking you is, are you on some type of a drug?
And the host of the show even says, no one's talking about her drug problems.
Right now, for instance, as we talk to you, if we didn't
Right.
know you, we would say this sounds like a woman who is heavily sedated.
You think I'm sedated right now?
He brings up the way that she sounds sedated. And like, honestly, I agree.
I'm saying that you sound that way. That's not the case. You're telling us that you're
have
not.
to be kidding.
I mean, come on. Whatever.
Howard, you don't think so?
Not at all. Not
But she gets upset and denies it, and Howard also flat out denies it.
at all.
You're such
I
a
mean, we're
hateful man.
No.
No, wait a minute.
You're calling me a fucking druggie.
No, we're not. We're asking you if you're on painkillers, something. Who knows? We don't know.
I said no.
We don't know
Drop
you.
it. I mean, why are we still talking about it?
And you know, I was almost happy about all of this entire scene in the show. But then, this guy, this talk show host, he has to bring up her weight and how she used to be one of the hottest women in America. You know, this stunning.
What happened, Anna, from the time that you were Playboy's Playmate of the Year, you were one of the most gorgeous women on the planet. What happened from that point to get from there to where you are today?
What do you mean?
He says she's clearly gone downhill because she's gained weight.
For starters, you gained a lot of weight.
I didn't gain a lot of weight.
So I was like, yes, he addressed it, and then I was like, no, he's being an asshole. And like, I hate the way that the show did this. I mean, not only do I hate that he brings up her weight and insults her and he's being a dick, but I hate the way that the show kind of contrasts these two and also makes him accusing her of having a drug problem also seem like he's just being a dick. And you know what? Maybe he was. Maybe he is just a dick. Maybe her drug problems never needed to be addressed publicly. Maybe they were addressed off camera. However, I still get the feeling that in real life, cameras rolling or not, her friends coddled her, because knowing what we know now, she did die of an overdose. And like in all this, I do have to give credit to Howard though. He does try to put Anna in her place. Like there's this one episode where Howard gets Anna these like plastic ice cube things and they're shaped like boobs. And like there's a whole point of it made in the show. Anna takes them and she puts them in her shirt and pretends they're her nipples. And like it's a whole joke in the show. But then later, Anna decides that she's not cool with people knowing that they're plastic ice cubes anymore, and, you know, gets really upset with Howard because he asks her why she still has them in her shirt. She says something interesting. She says, Howard, if I don't want people to know that they're in my shirt, if I don't want people to know something, then you can't tell them.
If I don't want you to tell people if these aren't my nipples.
But they saw you put them in.
Fucking asshole. No, they didn't.
And like we did see her put them in her shirt. And like there was a bunch of jokes made out of it. But then she just flat out denies it.
Howard, just
When I walked in, you made me feel them.
take off. You wish.
And Howard's like, it's on camera.
It's on camera.
It is not.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We will.
Fine. We will. I didn't want to look at you.
Oh, good.
But you know what? Like, good for him. Good for Howard for standing his ground on that one. And also, we could just go back to the whole eating competition scenario. This kind of shows why Howard would have distrust in Anna. So my overall thoughts on the show are that Anna was really struggling in a time where it was hard to be open about it. And also remember, at the time, being seen as a sex icon and a wonderful mother seemed impossible. And then add on to that the fact that she had drug problems and mental health issues. I mean, I do honestly see why she'd lie about it. I also see why in the show, she was kind of laying it on extra thick with her son. And honestly, I wish she wasn't. I wish she didn't have to. But like I said, I understand it. Because at the time, public opinion had you thinking that she was far less dynamic and kind-hearted than she truly was. I want to mention that money, fame, and drugs have always gone hand in hand. What do you expect when you give celebrities seemingly infinite money, seemingly infinite connections, and then most people in their private life aren't holding them accountable in general? And then everybody's so shocked when drugs, a chemical fixation, leads them spiraling down. So after watching the show twice, I did some Googling and I figured out a little bit more. Anna died in 2007 of an overdose of a combination of prescription pills. But no illegal drugs were found in her system in the autopsy. I'm not sure if part of the reason her drug abuse was denied is because they weren't illegal drugs, they were prescription drugs. But prescription drugs are drugs. And as we see, they can kill you. And we know now, sedatives were found in her system after she died, as well as a combination of 4 benzodiazepines. But honestly, still fuck that talk show host for the way that he called her out. I also found out that Anna was not only a mother of 1 child, but actually 2. The youngest child doesn't make an appearance in any of the episodes of the show that I saw. And unfortunately, at age 20, in 2006, Daniel died of an overdose. That's a year before Anna's death. My heart breaks for Daniel. It breaks for Anna, but it also breaks for Anna's youngest child, who lost their mother and their brother. And her daughter is thankfully still alive. And the least that anyone can do is stop bad-mouthing her mother. And that's basically it. We all owe people who are struggling respect. And I don't know, I have a lot of thoughts about the show.